Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm your host, CK Jensen. You can call me Rin if you'd like. And then I'm joined by Charlie Ray Wright, and I'm so excited to have your pronouns are she, her, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I was like, do I actually know their pronouns? Um, I'm so excited to have Charlie with me on my channel. She's so great. We've been chatting for the last little bit, and she's super cool. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're working on?
Hi, my name is Charlie Ray, or Charlie Ray Writes on pretty much every platform on the internets. I am currently working on a sci-fi or dystopian sci-fi, I guess, called Project Daydream. It's about dream jumping and murder and government control. And it's got like themes of mental health and things like that in there as well. So, and I'm drafting today, first draft.
I love that. We have
Yeah.
Ash here. Hello, Ash.
Hi, Ash.
So excited to have you here. So today on the stream we're doing sprints and we'll intersperse it with questions and other fun writing chats. I was on a stream with Evelyn the other day, and Evelyn had questions prepared for us, like get to know you questions. And I'm realizing as I'm already on the stream, I should have done that.
You know what's funny? I think about doing that every single time I do a stream with someone. I'm just like, I forget every time.
Yeah, and then we have McKenna here. Hello,
Hi,
McKenna. So happy to have you. Drop in the chat what you guys are working on. Let us know. Yeah. We were talking before the stream about how we're both really tired and I don't know how to be a human today. So we're here and we're humaning. We're doing great.
Yes. And we're making it work.
We are making it work. I have a fun little get to know you question though. What are you most excited for this week?
Me?
Yeah.
Or
all of the above.
Okay, everybody answer that question, please. I'd love to know. I am most excited for, that is such a great question. I think I'm most excited for all of the live streams that I get to do this week with awesome creators.
Yeah.
Right? Like with you and with Becca, and just getting to know and being more immersed in the the AuthorTube community and everything. I think that's probably one of the things I'm most excited for this week. For sure.
That's so wholesome and community building. I love that.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah. I'm really excited. This is a tonight thing. After this, I'm driving up to Salt Lake City, which is Utah capital and whatever. And I'm seeing my friend who I've not seen for 10 years. They're one of my longest standing friends, and they're one of the most important people in my life. And I'm seeing them for the first time in 10 years tonight.
I love that for you. That's awesome.
I've already cried about it twice. I'm very excited. Okay, we have McKenna is doing some real work. Every work is real work, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Miley can't stay but wants to drop some love. Thank you, Miley. We love you.
Hi, Miley.
Should we get right into the sprints or should we chat for a little longer? What are you feeling?
I mean, what's the chat got to say about it?
Yeah, chat. What do you think? Bellbrook is cooking dinner while listening to us, which means we need to yap, I think.
Okay, I think maybe we should yap a little bit then.
Okay, that's great because I don't want to rage.
You've been saying that this whole time.
We've been on the call for half an hour and I'm like, I can't do this. And I should just do it. I think once I actually get into it, it will be fine. I'm just the activation energy is too high.
Yes, I understand that. It can be difficult to get started, but it is a lot easier to do once you've already begun, which actually is a really interesting segue into a question that I have for you.
Ooh, what is it?
What kind of writing advice would you give to other writers who may have a difficult time finding motivation to get their work done?
That's such a good question, especially because right now I have no motivation. So I feel like this is a hard question for me right now. Let's see. Also, Tia came in. Hi, Tia.
Hi, Tia.
Yeah, we're not like adding you, but like maybe we're adding you. Okay, so advice for people who don't feel like writing. Honestly, I would say probably take a break. I'm not going to follow my own advice, but you should take a break. And I say this because, like, and I told this to my friend, and this comes from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which, you know, like capitalism, woo. But you have to maintain production capability in order to maintain production, which I think we can translate that more into like less capitalistic terms and more creative terms. I say in order to maintain creative potential or maintain creativity, you have to maintain creative potential. So I think just like taking a break and like refilling your creative well is really important. Maybe I should take my own advice, actually. Maybe I should just read for the first sprint.
Good.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll find out. I'm reading The Night Circus. I want to know what you're reading, by the way. I'm reading The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. It's like a comp titled The Project Circus.
Okay. Interesting. I'm currently still reading A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because it's literally taking me 5 million years to get through. I'm not a huge fan of Snow, and so I think I've been avoiding it, which I think everybody's not a huge fan of Snow. But
I'm not supposed to be a fan of him.
I am listening to The Graduate. I'm almost done with that by Naomi Novik.
Oh, Naomi Novik is so cool. Apparently, she like helped found like AO3 or something. Did you know that?
I did not.
I think it's AO3. Naomi Novik founded. Yeah, she like is co-founder of AO3.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she like writes her own books.
Very, very cool.
Bell Brooks says, Snow, the only thing that kept me going is knowing he dies at the end of the series. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I don't care about how he feels like wronged by for whatever reason. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you even here? I don't get it. But it looked like Brooke had a question.
I saw it. Oh my god. I have this because I was talking about this with a friend earlier today because I was actually looking at like writing fellowships and writing residencies and retreats today. There's one in France I really want to go to, but I have to like first get into the US one before I can go abroad with this program. But like if I woke up tomorrow, I would have like a trad pub deal, hopefully like a big one. Like, and I would want to be for Dauntless. I would want it to be a 3-book deal because I want to write a trilogy for Dauntless, but right now it's a standalone with serious potential, and it's a great standalone. But I would like want a trad pub deal. I would want to not be living in Utah for one. I want to be in like Seattle or Portland or like Vermont. Like, I don't know. But like it would just be like my writing being like actually like super lucrative and like so I can like not have to work a 9 to 5 and I can just do what I love all day, you know?
Yeah, that's a great like image for your life.
Yeah.
I like that. For me, I would be, if I woke up tomorrow and my life was exactly the way that I wanted it to be, I would be living in East Village, New York City, in a very swanky apartment decorated with all sorts of eclectic vintage furniture. And I would have a full-time job as a writer, writing my own books, published with like one of my dream publishing houses, having my books being made into movies, and like just like writing and doing creative things pretty much all day. And I would also be surrounded by puppies. So I would also be surrounded by like all of the puppies.
Yeah, honestly, you say that and I just had this thought pop into my head. I'm like, I want to be the Taylor Swift of authors, where I have like 8 cats and I like people just like know me and know my books, because like why I write, and I want to hear after I say this, I want to hear why you write. But like I write like primarily for myself, but then also write to connect with people and to like share my stories with people. So if I'm not like having anyone read my books, then like what's the point? Like of course there's the point of still writing for myself, but I love the connection that comes from storytelling, you know?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So why do you write and what do you write?
Okay, so that is a loaded question. So first of all, I write because I have like a compulsion to. I can't not do it. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I'm like always thinking about it, even when I'm not actively working on a project. It's just like always in the back of my mind, like, oh, that would be such a cool story idea. I should write that. And it's like one of those thoughts in your head that like if you cannot do it, then it kind of starts to drive you crazy a little bit until you actually do it. A part of that is just like a need to express things like going on internally, but also it's a way to like relate to other people, make sure that they don't feel as alone when my stories like eventually are out in public and other people read them.
Yeah.
Now what I write like new adult sci-fi and fantasy. So I also write like young adults, and that's pretty much it. I did attempt to write a children's book, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, that's so real. I would love to write like picture books, but I'm like, I cannot write even a short story. How do you expect me to write a story in 300 words or less?
Speaking of children's books, I was at my mom's the other day and I found one of my older brother's little book things. So they had us in like elementary school and middle school create like write a book.
Right.
And you would write and illustrate a book. And I found his and it's absolutely hilarious. He named it Twinkies. And it was about 3 Twinkies, but one of them was a cucumber who thought he was a green Twinkie.
Stop, that's so cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Horrible, actually. That unlocked a deep memory in me, I'm not gonna lie. Do you guys want to hear the deep memory?
Let's do it.
Okay, in 3rd grade, I think it was 3rd grade, it might have been 2nd. We had this poetry unit, like a creative writing poetry unit in class. And at the end of it, they did like an anthology from all these different schools that were doing the like, sorry, VeggieTales times the Ugly Duckling for your brother's story. That's funny.
Yeah, VeggieTales is funny actually because I was actually reading it to someone last night, and the cucumber Twinkie's name was Larry the Cucumber.
Okay, I see the VeggieTales fanfic here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where was I? So they did like an anthology for like all these schools.
Right.
And like it's okay, I distracted myself. It's the ADHD. They did an anthology for all these schools. So I forgot I've been a published poet since I like the age of 8.
No way.
Yeah, I have the anthology on my shelf. I don't know if it's still in print. But I like forgot about that. Like the poem is not good. I was 8 years old. But like I just remembered that because you were like books in elementary school. I'm like, wait a second. They published an anthology with my poetry in it.
That is really cool. That's a cool
accomplishment. I often think about one poem I read in that class all the time. It was a poem about Wendigos, and I've never been able to find it again. I'm going to go on a hunt for the Wendigo poem. Poems about Wendigos. And that is Wendigos.
Oh, looks like Brooke had another question too.
Where was it? Oh, what book describes your personality? Good job. I like saw it and then I forgot about it because we went off on a tangent. This is a really good question. Do you have your answer?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
I would say a book that describes my personality is also my favorite book of all time. So maybe I'm like biased. But Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. It's like it's a middle grade novel about like a girl who's it's told from this perspective of a boy who moves to like a small town in Arizona, and he's like, and the first chapter is about his obsession with porcupine neckties. It's like, and so there's our main character, and then he gets to high school. He still only has 2 of these neckties in his collection, and then this weird girl who's been homeschooled her whole life comes to high school, and everyone is like, she's so weird, and she is so weird because she's never had like any outside influence on the world. I think I might have talked about this on your stream too. I talked about this on the stream recently where I was like, it asked the question, who would you be in a world that had no say on who you were?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I relate to Stargirl a lot, and like I often feel like people just like think I'm really weird, and like maybe that's not true. I think I've grown out of my awkward duckling phase, hopefully. I don't know about that, but like Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli is probably the book that describes my personality the best.
Okay. Very cool.
Whimsical and secretly depressed, and like I say secretly, it's not a secret. I talk about it all the time. But like Stargirl gets like secretly depressed later in the book, and she doesn't
right.
Okay. So, anyways, do you have your answer? Or should I highlight Bell Brooks' next comment?
No, I don't. I genuinely have no idea. Like, there are characters in books that I relate to. Like, I can understand. I like share similar personality traits with them. Like, for example, Katniss in the Hunger Games, when she volunteers for her sister, that is something that I would have done if I were in that situation. Like, I would have volunteered for one of my brothers if I could have.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, there's just like with Bella and Twilight, like she's kind of an airhead in my opinion, and I can be kind of an airhead too.
Okay, we can be airheads. It's okay.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't have like a specific book that really represents my personality. I think that because I kind of also have like some days I'm a totally different person than the day I was before that. So it's just, I don't know. It's interesting.
Okay, I love that. Bell Brooks says, I feel like my life is a rom-com book to this day, which is like, I believe it. Your husband and you are adorable, and you're like children, like you're living the dream. Which makes, if you don't have a specific book, what genre book is your life?
What genre book is my life? Probably like is like a comedic contemporary genre.
I love that. That's so fun.
Like just like a mix of those things, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm like a mix between like a rom-com and a comedy of errors. It's like, and then like maybe some like throw in like a literary, like written in the style of like a literary fiction novel where it has all these like way too heavy themes that don't really belong there. That's my life.
Yeah. I hate you.
It was a nightmare before. I had an ex who had a whole other life. He was engaged and we were together for 10 years. And half of that he had another life. Okay. Bellbrook, we should talk sometime because I had a guy who I dated for 9 months, which is not at all 10 years. But like he lied to me about his identity. I have a friend trying to run a background check on him, but she hasn't texted me back for a few days.
I would tell mine, but it might be triggering for some people.
Okay.
So I will leave it off the internet.
We'll keep off the internet. On my first live stream on YouTube, I went into the story of this guy who like scammed me. Like this boyfriend who scammed me. So it's out there. Like I did it with CK and Jordy. Men do be wildin'. Oh my god.
They definitely do. They definitely do. I would totally pick the bear as long as it was like on the opposite side of the forest as me.
Right. Like I don't want to be in close proximity to bears, but I don't want to be in close proximity to men either.
Like, on one hand, I kind of feel like if I were in a position where I had to like defend myself against a guy, I could probably handle a little bit of that. But I don't know that I could defend myself against a bear.
Right, but like the bear,
No,
the point of the bear is you probably don't have to defend you against it because as long as you don't antagonize it, it's fine.
it depends on the bear. It depends on the bear.
McKenna, I think you would be BFFs with the bear. I love this.
I think we're all that level of delusional again.
Honestly, yeah. I'm at the level of delusional, but with men. Like I keep going on bad dates. And I talk about them in the Storyteller Society's Discord. But Charlie, you know the date I went on after our last live stream?
Yeah.
So bad. I had a friend call me to get out of there. It
I
was
did
so
that.
bad.
I did that once. I told them to tell me that my dog was having some sort of like medical emergency so that I could leave. I didn't even have a dog. I was just like, I need to get out of this. Will you tell
That's
me? Will you call me and like make something up?
right. No, that's what I did. I like pulled out my phone to say I'm looking for a book on Libby that I think you'll like, and then I couldn't find the book on Libby, and I was like, oh, I think I read it physically or something. But like, I texted call with an emergency to my best friend who I texted I was going on a date, and she calls me like not immediately, but in like a few minutes, and is like, hey, my cat is vomiting nonstop, and I was like, oh well, I'm on a date. Like, do you need like what's going like? And I like, anyways, it
So
was
wait,
so bad.
can I be nosy and ask
Yes.
what exactly it was that was so bad about it?
Yeah. So I'm a queer feminist, and he was a moderate to conservative man who was explaining affirmative action to me and being really, really racist.
That's enough said. You don't need to tell me anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely not a match.
Yeah, because like it started out so strong. He was asking about like my writing and books we've read, and then I was like, oh yeah, I think representation is really important in literature. And he's like, well, what if like it doesn't make sense to have representation in a book? And I'm like, well, I can't really think of any books where you wouldn't have representation. But like I guess, and then it kept going downhill. It was so bad. I think we got like half an hour in, and I was like,
Yeah.
And I get really anxious on dates, even if they're going well. To the point where but like this day was going so bad that I was like shaking, and I was like not eating my pizza because we were just like out for pizza, like very low key date. He should not have been like mansplaining affirmative action and why they repealed it to me under the guise of being not racist when really he was just being super racist. I don't know. Anyways, one of the worst dates of my life.
Oh my word.
Not the worst, but one of them.
I'm sorry that happened.
I know, me too. It was so bad. And then like B in the Discord is always like, Rin, you just gotta date a lesbian. And I'm like, you're right, I do just need to date lesbians because I'm bi. And I still haven't done it. We're working on it. That's all I've got. We've been yapping for 25 minutes. Should we do a 20-minute sprint or a 30-minute sprint?
Let's consult the chat because I could do either. I honestly have no preference.
Okay. Chat, what? Oh, Bellbrook has to go to dinner, but she'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Back. Chat, let us know how many minutes we should do a sprint for. Your cap is 30, your minimum is 15. Throw numbers at us. Okay, McKenna says 30, and I think McKenna and Bellbrook were the only people really texting in the chat. So, like, a few other people here, but, like, 30 it is, I guess.
All right. Sounds good. I'm good with 30.
Okay. I can do this. I'm mentally hyping myself up. I did not do enough psych up before this. We can do this.
Yeah. You're pulling the energy towards you, towards your body. Okay.
Okay. We got this. Okay. On your marks. Get set. Go. That is the end of the sprint. How did it go for everybody? How did it go for you, Charlie?
Yeah, so that was an interesting sprint. I finished a chapter. I started
Oh,
on
yay!
I started on chapter 29. I wrote 502 words.
Nice.
And my characters are very quickly approaching the climax of my story. So I'm very excited.
Nice. I
How about
love
you?
that. That's so fun. It was a really slow start, but I ended up writing about 460 words. I didn't look at exact my word count before I started, because I was already at 300 something, and now I'm at 700 something.
Okay.
But it's going well. I cheated a little bit by copy pasting from an earlier iteration and just put some words on the page and then got typing, and then it's going well, and I'm about to have the circus storyteller tell a story, so hopefully that will go really well next sprint, but it might not. We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily cheating. Like, you've already written those words. It's just you're adding to your current draft.
Exactly. It's fine. Belle Brooke made it back for the next yap. Let's go.
Woo-hoo.
And McKenna made some dinner. Yum. What did you
Yum.
make? I'm so curious. I've not had dinner yet.
Me either. It's
Maybe
gonna
we
be
should.
next. Well, I ate a late lunch, so I'm okay, but I'll probably have to eat dinner after our sprints.
I also ate a late lunch now that you mention it. I forgot about it because it was the most disappointing sandwich I've ever had.
Oh, no.
Reheated pasta. Okay, probably still better than my sandwich.
Love me some pasta.
Yeah, I recently made a bechamel sauce, and so I have 2.5 jars of bechamel sauce in my fridge, which is just a French white sauce.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's delightful, but I have too much sauce. Oh no.
I like a creamy white sauce. I'm not a fan of the marinaras, tomato based.
Yeah, white sauce is just superior to red sauce. I don't make the rules.
For me, tomato sauce gives me a stomach ache.
Oh no, that's no good. Hi, Maisie.
Yeah, it's just it's just too acidic for me. I can't even eat that many tomatoes either.
That's actually so sad. I love tomatoes so much. I
Yeah,
just don't like
me too.
red sauce.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Belle Brooke ate some fajitas for dinner. I forgot to tell you to drop questions in the chat before we went on the sprint. So drop your questions now, or we'll come up with our own questions. But that's always hard to do on the spot. So
sorry,
we would love your inputs.
She said fajitas, and now I'm just thinking about the last time I had fajitas. I haven't had them in so long. I really want them now. Thanks, bro.
So good.
I don't have any of the stuff to make them, so that's a bummer, but it's fine.
We'll go grocery shopping. It'll be fun.
I don't want
to. That is so real. Okay, McKenna asked, what's the hardest part of writing for you and the easiest?
Great question. Do you want to go first?
Yes. I think, okay, the easiest part of writing for me is often coming up with an idea. I genuinely feel like I am never running short of ideas. I recently did a video of all the books I've written and want to write, and there's 20 books on there at least. Because I've written 11 now, and I have several more I want to write.
Wow.
So there's 20 something books on that list, and I keep getting more. So ideas are really easy for me. The hardest part, I feel like that changes day to day. Right now I'm having a really hard time with drafting, but sometimes drafting is super easy for me. So I think it just kind of depends on the project and what stage I'm in the project, you know? So it's very what's the hardest part for me. But also querying. Querying is very hard. But that's not even writing, that's publishing. Your turn.
Yeah, so for me, we'll start with the easiest first. So the easiest thing for me is probably just starting the story. So like coming up with the idea, writing the initial words, and then after that, it is hard. Just like everything about it, pretty much.
That's so real.
Like, I feel like I always start a story feeling really inspired about the story, and then it's always easier for me to do it than at that point. And I think a lot of this comes down to my lack of motivation just in general, like for life, like at all. So I have to rely a lot on like dedication, or like what's that word? Yeah, I mean, I guess dedication is a good word for it. Diligence,
discipline, maybe?
discipline. Yeah, just like to get myself through it. And that can be really difficult. I think in the drafting process, writing the middle part is a little bit of a struggle for me since I am a pantser. I don't have any of the ideas. And then I just like, when I get to the middle, sometimes I don't really know what's going on and where I'm trying to take it. And that's hard. Just like everything is hard, I guess.
Yeah, that's so real though. I get it. Like everything requires effort, I feel like, and that makes it just hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easy profession.
No, we didn't. It's just like mentally hard, mentally tough to like get yourself down to start it. It's always easier once you begin, but sometimes I have writing sessions where I write and every word I write is hard. Sometimes I write and it's like not as difficult. Like today I'm having a okay time. I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah. Writing's just hard. Earlier we were talking, and it made me think of a quote, and this was like way back before the first sprint, but you said like you have to write or like it feels like it drives you crazy. There's been a couple quotes from couple different authors where it says, if you can avoid the work, then avoid it. But I feel like both of us are like the type of people that like we can't avoid the work.
No.
Ooh.
We really can't. Even because even at work, like when I'm supposed to be focusing on like work tasks, I'm just like on my little post-it note, like writing tiny little stories and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this right now. It's like my body is like forcing me, and I don't even know. My body and my brain forces me into it. So yeah. I get that.
For real. Okay. Question: as author-tubers, have you found the community you've been wanting and needing, and what is something we can do to improve our writer community online? This is such like a good, thoughtful question. Not that the other questions haven't also been good and thoughtful.
Yeah.
But like, do you have an answer to this off the top of your head?
I do.
Okay,
yeah. So as an author-tuber, I feel like I have found some community. It's kind of hard because I did take quite a bit of a break from AuthorTube, and like during that period of time, I wasn't actually watching any videos on YouTube at all. Like I was going through like a difficult period in my life, and I just needed to take a break from like everything, to kind of just like get my mental health back in order, basically. And so for me, it's been kind of difficult because I felt like when I started, I was like sort of building one. And then I left, and now I'm like rebuilding that. Although I do find that since I've been back, I've had like more success, like connecting with other author tubers, connecting with other people who aren't necessarily author tubers, but who are writing and like commenting on my videos and things like that. One thing that we can improve about, or something that we can improve about the writer community online, is maybe like I think like the one thing that I can think of is like search for smaller creators and like comment on their stuff and like give them like encouragement and like motivation to keep making videos, because it's really hard as someone who isn't like used to being on camera and putting their face out to the masses to like see their video only getting like, you know, a handful of views and maybe a like or two there. and maybe like 1 or 2 comments, like it can be really hard and discouraging. And just like being more like, I guess I'm kind of referring more to like the bigger author tubers, like just being more supportive of like really small creators, I think is would be one thing that we could probably improve on a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
No, I think I fully agree with that. Like, I was really diligent for the first like 3 months of my channel, posting every week. And then like I lost my job, and it like got so much harder and like so much more stressful in my life. So I'm like in the same boat where like I took a break from YouTube, and I'm trying to like get back into it, but it's still hard. Have I found the community I wanted? I feel like I found it, but I feel like, and I talked about this in a recent video too, but I feel like I'm not always like integrated into the community, even though like
same.
Like, I know I have friends in this community, and like everyone, like no one seems to hate me at the very least. But I'm like, I was gonna say everyone likes me, but I'm like, no, not everyone likes me, but no one hates me. And like, I haven't really had time feeling connected to people because I feel like it's so much easier for me to connect in person than like over the internet, because I'm really bad at like remembering to comment on my friends' videos or even like the videos. Like, I need that reminder to like, comment, subscribe, and if I don't get that frequently, I probably will just forget, honestly. But like, I don't know. So like, I feel like I found the community, but I don't feel like fully integrated into it a lot. And I think a lot of it is that social anxiety that I've talked about, where I'm just like, I don't know. But I agree with your point. I think the only thing to like improve the community is to like keep supporting those small creators, because like as fun as it is to like watch the super aesthetic create like full-time creators videos, like it's nice to support the small creators who are still like figuring it out.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, and Bellbook said, I love that, Charlie. Glad you're back and that we found you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad to be back. It's so much fun. I love making videos and just like putting them together and putting them up. And like sometimes I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing, and like people don't like watching my videos. Like I feel like that a lot of the time. And so that's kind of what I'm referring to, is like, you know, having the support from the other people in the AuthorTube community can make a huge impact on how that makes, you know, like small people just getting started feel. So
right. Yeah, whenever I find a new author tuber, like someone who's posting like their first writing vlog, I'm like, oh my god, welcome to the community. Let's be friends. And then I feel like I also feel like I want to subscribe to everyone, but I'm also like, I miss so many videos that way from like the small creators. So I don't know. It's a hard balance to strike, I feel like.
Yeah, and I mean like I'm personally of the belief that you should subscribe to creators who you enjoy, but just because you like aren't necessarily subscribed to someone doesn't mean that you can't show support in other ways, like saying, hey, welcome to the community, you know, like, or like on the and for like the bigger YouTubers, like if you don't necessarily subscribe to them, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't still watch their stuff.
Right, exactly.
You know, so it's just my thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Bellbook says, I'm an awkward turtle in the community, and that's how I feel too. Like, yeah, I'm like, I said earlier, I think I'm out of my awkward duckling phase, and I don't think I really am. Like, I don't know, but oh, you guys are great author tubers and writers, and that is so sweet. I'm gonna cry, Bill.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Yeah, thank you.
I also feel like an awkward turtle though sometimes.
Well, like, I don't perceive either of you as awkward.
I think, okay, so like maybe it's just me, but or it's probably no, it's not just me, because I know this is like a thing other people have too. But like obviously, like you mentioned anxiety and ADHD. I also have anxiety and ADHD, and I'm pretty sure, like I haven't like been told this by a professional or anything, but I'm pretty sure that I also have rejection sensitivity dysphoria. So like if I make a comment and somebody doesn't like it and comment back, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get it. New fear unlocked.
Yeah, and
I
I'm just like,
that way, and I'm like, oh my god, what if you're right?
and I'm just like, did I like, was I too much? Was I not enough? Did I not say the right thing? You know, like, my mind goes in circles. So like that can like make me then be more awkward online the next time I try to like reach out to someone or make a comment. So it's just, I get it. I understand. But yeah, definitely an awkward turtle.
An aqua fish out of water. I had a big stream last week, went through author 2%. I was so anxious, but you did like great. Like, here's the thing. I actually believe this in real life, so I don't know why I don't believe it on the internet. But I think we're never as awkward as we think we are, and like we overthink everything we do, but like other people don't think about it that much or at all.
True.
Like, we just overthink it too much, and I'm sure it's because we have anxiety and ADHD and all the fun other mental illnesses and
Oh my
neurodivergence.
gosh. Yeah, actually, it's something really fun to add about that. So, like you said, I feel like we're never as awkward as we think we are. So, and then like with Brooke, she said that she had that stream with the big author tubers, and I had a stream with Taylor the other day, and my friend Holly, who I know in real life, was in that stream, like just in the chat. And I texted her afterwards and I was like, did I seem awkward at all to you? Because I felt so awkward that whole time. And she's like, no, you seem fine. And I was just like, I felt like I was like just saying the weirdest things, like the whole stream. So it is what it is. It happens, It just is what it
is. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles. I'm really tired. You can tell. But like genuinely, like everyone thinks you do great on streams, and everyone enjoys coming to the streams. If they didn't want to be on the streams, they wouldn't be there. And no one's like mean in the community, so they're not going to like comment and be like, "You guys suck." So like,
true. Very true.
But like at the same time, then you interpret no comments being as like, "Oh, I suck anyways." But like, yeah. It seems to be like a different skill set, like how we all had to talk on Zoom. Exactly. This is just like Zoom but fun. I'll learn how. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I comfort myself when I started doing like live streams. I was so scared, and I was doing them with like really big names. Like one of my first live streams was with like Brielle and Alyssa, and who was the other one on the live stream? Anyways, it was like Brielle, Alyssa, and someone else. And I was like, this is actually insane. I can't believe I'm getting on a live stream with these ladies. And it was just like mind blowing. And I felt super anxious about it. And I hated myself afterwards. But then everyone came and told me I did a great job. So like, and why would they lie to me? Like, why would people lie to me? I don't think people lie to each other all the time. Like,
no.
like we lie to ourselves a lot. But like other people are telling the truth when they're kind.
I agree.
Yeah. Do we have more questions in the chat? Should we jump into another stream? Not stream. Sprints. Sorry, I'm so brain dead.
It is just one of those days.
It really is.
I do have a question for you.
Okay, go for it. You have so many questions. I love it.
How did publishing your first book change your process as a writer?
No one has ever asked me this before. I don't know. Because, like, I actually don't know that it changed it that much. Like, for me, it was definitely, like, a step in the learning process. But the first book I published wasn't the first book I wrote. So, like, writing, like, a book and a half before I wrote the book that I published, I felt like gave me so much opportunity to try out different writing structures and routines and, like, processes that when I published Queen of Hearts, I was like, oh, I know like how to write a book. And like, I kind of knew how to write a book. Like I look back at it and I cringe a little bit, but like, it's fine. I still love that book. But like, I don't know if I can pinpoint like one specific way like changed my process, you know? I think now that I've published 2 books, I'm like I keep on like raising the bar for my standard. So I feel like I'm getting better at revision. I'm learning to be more targeted in my revision.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Cuz like if I don't think you made it to like Miley's reading the other day in the Discord, but she read the first 2 chapters of My Project Death, and everyone in the comments was like, "This is a first draft." I'm like, "I know it's so bad," and they're like, "No, Ren, this is actually like really good." And I was like, "Okay." So I hate it because it's mine, but everyone else looks at it and is like, "How is this a first draft? This is like amazing." And then I had like one person like DM me later because I asked for feedback on it, and she was like, "Honestly, the only like inconsistency I really saw was like this thing, which I'm not going to bring up because it's kind of triggering, and it's a live stream, but I can tell you afterwards if you're interested." But like, just like my storytelling skills have gotten better over the years.
Mhm.
I've been writing seriously like a novel length works for almost 10 years now. It'll be 10 years next summer. And like it's just a process. Like you just keep getting better at it. So I think really what publishing my first book taught me is that I don't have a cap of how good I can get.
That's an awesome outlook to have, for
Thank you.
sure.
I just
And
like came off that off the top of my head and I'm like, wow, that was actually
that's
kind of
really,
fine.
yeah, that's really awesome to have that mindset. And there was something that you mentioned
Yeah.
about how like I don't I don't like it because it's mine and like I made it. And there was something that someone said, I can't remember, but like I think it was more directed towards like people who draw and paint.
Right.
But I feel like it applies to writing where you create something and to you it's not good or it's not as good as you would hope it would be, and that's because you're the one who made it. And so
Right.
like there's that like comparison where you're like trying to create something that is like something somebody else created or at the quality that somebody else created, but it's never going to be that because you're not them. And
Right.
you're like telling your story or drawing your drawing or painting your painting through like your own eyes and experiences, which I think is what makes that like I mean that's like what makes it a unique to you project, I guess. It's like
That
the
makes a
most
lot of
concise way I could say that.
No, like that makes sense. And I think a lot of like me hating my work does stem from like my own like self-hatred, like and like this like inherent belief that I'm not good enough. But like if I look at things more objectively or like on a good day when I don't like hate myself as much, then I'm like, oh, this is actually like not bad at all. Like this might even be good. Um and I think that like kind of like the same thing that they tell you when you think you're not pretty as a kid. It's like, oh, you're so used to seeing your own face, you've seen it a million times, and you remember how it was at the beginning, like in the first draft when it was bad. Because I think first drafts are kind of always bad, but I don't know. Maybe you're perfect and you write perfect first drafts, but like you're just so used to it that you don't see how wonderful it is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's something that you made because it
Yeah.
is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad either. Like it just means that you made it and this is your like personal stamp on that.
Yeah. And I think it's good to like I think it's good to do things that are not good. Like, I'm not phrasing that correctly. I think it's important to make things that are bad.
Yeah.
Because oh my God, Mick is here.
Hi,
Hi, Mick. I love you, Mick. I was not expecting that. We were just talking about like big author tubers and how like they're all so cool and scary to us. Oh my God. Anyways, I think it's important to make bad things. The YouTuber Struthless, I think his name is like Campbell Walker, but like he had his video like a long time ago where I love you too. He had this video a long time ago where he like intentionally like he used stronger language than this, but he intentionally messed something up, like intentionally made something so bad. And so I took this and I experimented with that. And I have a folder in my Google Drive called IFUs, which stands for intentional F ups. And it's just like me writing the worst short stories I possibly can. Like they're not good. But then I posted one on my newsletter and everyone was like, "Oh, this is actually really fun and engaging." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not." But like I don't know. I think there's value in making bad art because I think any art is better just because it exists. So
Yeah.
you're bigger than us, Mick. Babies.
Yeah, we were just to provide a little bit of context for that. We were talking about how like just like live streaming and how we felt like not uncomfortable but like nervous and scared to live stream with like bigger author tubers, and like wondering if we were awkward and things like that.
Yeah. I don't actually think you're scary, Mick. You are actually very approachable. Although I have this one time.
There's always one time.
I had this one time where I was like, I'm face blind for context. This is the reason why I made this mistake. I don't even know if you remember this. If you don't remember, it proves my earlier point that people don't remember the awkward things you do. Where I like got on one of your live streams, and it was when I was really new to AuthorTube, and I was like, Mick, we met at YanCon, remember? And you're like, I've never been to YanCon. And it's just like there's another blonde Mick that I know who's also a writer who I met at YanCon. And I thought you were her. And then you're like, no, that's not me. And anyways, I think about that on a weekly basis. I'm like, anyways, but I was like, I was so certain you were, her name is Mick Johnson, and I didn't know that your last name was Kimes. So I was like, anyways, I'm just yapping. I'm sorry. It's fine. Anyways. Oh yeah, she doesn't remember this at all. This is my point. I feel like I'm being so awkward right now. No one's gonna remember this but me. So just be kind to yourselves is the takeaway from this.
Yes, you're not being awkward. Don't worry about it.
Okay, great. I'm so anxious right now, but it's okay. We're working on
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths. Oh my god, yeah, they're scary and stressful, but they're fun. Speaking of like writing, though, we've talked for like a total of like a long time, like 50 minutes.
Yeah, like most of the stream we've been talking, so we should do another sprint. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking like a 20-minute sprint though. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let me set the thing to 20. Because honestly, I don't think I can focus for another 30 minutes.
That's totally fair.
At this stage.
I don't think I can either.
Okay. I guess I didn't even ask you guys for your opinions. Is 20 minutes okay? I'm not seeing any no's. Okay. We're going to do 20 minutes. 20 is great. Thank you, Mick. Yay. Okay. On your mark. Get set. Right. Okay, that is time on our second sprint.
Holy moly.
How did it go? How did it go, everyone in the chat?
Well, let's see. For me, oh my goodness. Let's see. I got 539 words that sprint.
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm keeping good pace. How about you?
I don't even know how many words I did. What was my word count last time was like 700, right?
I believe so.
Trying to do math. I think I got like 400 words that sprint. I didn't do a lot, but it's okay.
Well, I know you were having a hard time focusing, so I think that's a good.
Hardest time.
That's still good.
I'm writing this story within a story, which I love to do. So many of my books have stories within stories because I love doing this. It's just like fun world building. And I'm telling this story about one of the lost gods who's a crow god who falls in love with a mortal woman.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of slay. I'm not going to lie.
Care to share some words?
Yeah, I can share some words. Where's Scrivener? There it is. Okay. The lost gods were not always lost. As I said, they walked among us, but none of us knew them. They hid their godly figures, walked among us as orcs and humans and demon-born, as elves and dwarves and halflings. Each god chose a form that best suited their domain. One god, though, the crow god, grew tired of his mortal form. Always one of the lower gods, he knew he did not have much of a choice when it came to forms. There were no bird-human halflings, so he could not take a bird-halfling form without giving himself away. Until one day, a human wearing the shiniest silver the crow god had ever seen came to the river beneath his nest. He watched hungrily as the maiden filled her water bucket, coveting her jewelry. When she stood, he saw her beauty as well as her silver. For once, human beauty competed for silver in his eyes.
Awesome.
I'm actually quite pleased with that. I said the word forms too many times, which is like it's the first draft. I'm allowed to have some repetition. But I was like reading, I was like, I've said forms like 3 times in the last 30 seconds now, and that's too many. So I'll shake that up.
That's awesome.
Make us hopping between streams because there's so many, because there's like 5 streams going on tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do the same, I think, because I need to catch up on some words this week.
Yeah, I would, but like I said, I'm meeting my friend tonight. So I'm like 200 words shy of what I want to be at, but it's okay.
That's all right. I think because you're so tired.
Yeah, it's not helping.
No, you've had a hard time focusing. Cut yourself some slack. You got this.
Right. I should rest, as I keep telling everyone else to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did everybody else do though?
Do you have any snippets you want to share?
I mean, I can share a little bit, but let's just keep in mind this is like super first draft and I'm speeding through it. I'm not going to share as much as you did.
That's okay. I just kept reading till I found a good stopping spot.
Okay. The path stretched before me just as it always had, the purplish gravel disappearing behind a darkened sky. Grass curled over the path in the light air. The impressive sky. Yeah, we won't read that line. That's really clunky. I think that's a good place to stop.
Okay. I love the gravel.
Huh?
I love the purple gravel. That's so fun.
Yeah, so I'm writing a scene where they're in the dream world. So like everything has some sort of like for example, the grass is like really tall, like taller than you are. And they're like in this transition part before they actually enter an actual dream, and it looks different for everybody. So for Alyssa, who's the perspective that I'm writing in right now, she sees like a path before her, and when she looks up in the sky, it's like she can see like Jupiter and Saturn and a 2 large moon that she feels like she could like reach out and touch if she wanted to. And
I love that imagery.
Yeah, and it's just like she's in order to get to a door that would lead her into someone's dream, she has to like walk down a path, and then all of the doors look different. And there's like, she opens them like to peek inside to see if it's the right door. And yeah, for my other character though, it's more like he's being pulled through a black hole. So he has to like catch like the dreams as he is like being sucked by to like get into a new thing.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, so it's just yeah, it looks different for everybody. It's like depending on their personalities and like how comfortable they are dream jumping and everything. Yeah. So Alyssa, who's very comfortable, she does it for a living, and she can be a little bit more calm about it, whereas Kai, it's his first few times dream jumping, and so his is a little more chaotic.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love this. I can't wait to read it.
Oh my gosh. No pressure.
No pressure, but like maybe a little bit of pressure. You have to finish it. Just have pressure so you finish it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Should we wrap up and tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah. So hi. Obviously, I don't know why I said hi. Like, I introduced myself at the beginning of this, but whatever. It's fine. We're on a live stream. It's candid. It's cool. So yeah, you can find me on YouTube as Charlie Ray Writes, and on Instagram as Charlie Ray Writes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I post more on YouTube than I do on Instagram, but I like to share. I'm more of a story sharer on Instagram than anything else. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And I'm CK Jensen. You're on my channel right now, but I'm CK Jensen, author everywhere. Witch's Blood is out now. Buy it online wherever books are sold. Cool. Thank you so much. Love you all. Good luck with your writing.
Good luck, everyone.